Third versus fourth in the Championship this lunchtime at Portman Road. Time now for full commentary of Ipswich Town versus Millwall on BBC Radio Suffolk in the company of former Town captain Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley.
So the biggest championship game of the weekend is just a few minutes away from kicking off here on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's third versus fourth with second place the Carrot. Yep, a win for either Town or Millwall could see them leapfrog Middlesbrough into the automatic promotion places. Barra, who are about to kick off against Blackburn, currently have a 2-point cushion. While many visiting fans might well accept a point right now, it's a different kettle of fish for Ipswich supporters. With just 3 more home games to go after this one, they're undoubtedly targeting a 9th victory in 11 here. We really are heading towards the business end of the season, and today there's only one more Portman Road Saturday to go after this one. Mick, no time to hang around as the Town have to go out and grab this opportunity now.
Yes, very much so. When I sort of look ahead, I really sort of look at this fixture against Millwall and the fixture at home against Middlesbrough, because why I feel that they're so vitally important is that, like, after this game we chalk off a home match, Millwall chalk off an away game, and at this stage of the season when you start chalking off away games, they're very, very important with what's left. So I don't want to think that we don't win this game. I think a draw will be a bad result. It might be one of the few times that I ever say that a draw is a bad result, but Millwall will go away from here if they can retain the point they start with absolutely full of themselves. So it's vital that we hit form today and try and knock this team down and get the 3 points that are up for grabs. But we saw Millwall down at the Den, and I tell you what, they are never say die players. There's one of them almost taken Matasura out just in the warm-up there. So, you know, they will give absolutely everything. We dominated the game down there, but Millwall were the impressive side about the never say die spirit.
The two teams then both showing a couple of changes from their last matches, contrasting fortunes last weekend as Town were winning up at Sheffield Wednesday. Millwall had a surprise home 1 defeat to Blackburn, albeit they were down to 10 men for a red card, which has since been rescinded. That's why Sturge is in their team today. The two changes from last week for Town, Eggerly and Hurst dropped to the bench because, of course, Burns, who's out with a calf injury, didn't actually start that game. Inca McAteer and Athon, as you can hear, a cracking atmosphere inside Portman Road for this one. Walton in goal, the back four as it was in South Yorkshire. Furlong, O'Shea, Greaves and Johnson. Still no Kipre and Davis because of bans. That's Matusiwa, who we just heard from, alongside Neil. The three of McAteer, Mametti and Clark in behind Athon. On the bench, Palmer, Kayuste, Baggett, Boniface, Taylor, Eggerly, Philogene, Akpom and Hurst. Still no Marcelino Nunez. Surely he'll be okay for Birmingham on Easter Monday, Town's next game, incidentally. The two changes for Millwall, McNamara and the experienced Bannon dropped to the bench. Income Taylor and Cundle. Patterson is their goalkeeper, a January signing on loan from Sunderland. Their back four, Kramer, who's been playing centre-half, is at right back. Taylor and Cooper are the central defensive unit, with Sturge, who I mentioned a moment ago, at left back. The two in midfield, Negley, who's been playing the 10, will sit alongside Mitchell, and then the three from right to left, Aziz, their player of the season, Cundle and Langstaff. Up top is Coburn. On the bench, Crookham, McNamara, Ballo, Ivanovic, Watson, Brian Bannon, Mazusako and Lamperty, a 19-year-old midfielder, hoping to make his league debut at some point, Rafiq Lamptey. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Could go a long way to settling this game. How Ben Johnson deals with Femi Aziz down the right-hand side of Millwall's attack. Town in blue, white, blue, defending the end off to our left. The Sir Bobby Robson stand in this first half against Millwall. They're all changed, all pretty much cream kit. Here is Kramer, who actually played right back on Boxing Day, but he is a centre-half by trade. He had a really good game, actually, at the Den, getting forward particularly well. Such a tall back line. Kramer, one of those giants at the back for Millwall. Now on their right-hand side, here is Aziz, who Ipswich Town, of course, tried to buy in January. Taylor, Millwall knocking on the door early on in the left-back area outside the Town box. The clearance comes from Town, from left-back. Athon can't bring it down, and it's out of play for a throw on the far side to the visitors, who are currently fourth in the table, level on points with Ipswich Town, both just a couple behind Middlesbrough, as Millwall have another throw-in. Gloriously sunny spring afternoon here at Portman Road. Not many empty seats for this one. Town supported, and those from South Yorkshire realise the enormity of this game. Here is Cooper belting the ball forward, but inadvertently giving Christian Walton a nice early touch of the ball.
Yeah, nothing's happened really, but you just see Millwall with it. They were played down the right-hand side, and they completely trapped us in there for sort of a couple of minutes, and that's what they do. They get players right around the ball and make it really difficult for you.
Cleared up in the centre circle by Millwall. Greaves gets the better of Langstaff. Now here is Furlong drilling the ball up to Athon. Nicely off from the Spaniard to Mehmeti. Tracked all the way by Mitchell. On the right hand side, McAteer. Low ball into the Millwall areas, dealt with by their captain Cooper. Millwall played out short from the back to underneath us and Sturge, formerly of Chelsea, his first season with Millwall. Cooper blocks off Mehmeti. Matussi was involved. Then it's clipped forward by Cundle, former Wolves player. Coburn slips. And it's Ipswich Town captain Dara O'Shea who comes away with the ball. Good to chat to him at Hillsborough post-match last weekend after that much-needed and in the end well-deserved win for Ipswich Town, albeit it took a while for them to crack the Owls. Referee, incidentally, Michael Salisbury, says play on. Clark running through midfield, skips away from the challenge of Cooper. Clark's done brilliantly on that left-hand side. Johnson, first time he's come forward inside the area. Ball into the middle, right across the face of goal, and out the other end. They're thrown to Millwall at left back. Town's first attack of the game. Yeah, very good. We've already seen Mehmeti in possession in that number 10 position just a half a minute ago, and then all of a sudden Jack Clark, pops up in a 10, so that's good. You know, you're interchanging your positions really good, and then obviously we got Ben Johnson free down the left. That ball was really good, completely and utterly in the danger zone. We had 3 blue-shirted players in the box, but not one of the 3 really made it his business to get in the 6-yard box, which he should have done. Walton inside his 18-yard area. Plays it out short to Matusiwa. He goes square to Greaves. Town trying to build from the back. There's no point in going high and long towards Athon, given the height in this back line for Millwall. Greaves dinking the ball down the far side. Athon's going to get onto it. In front of him offside is Mehmeti. Athon tries to find McAteer, covering back is Negley. Poor clearance across Athon, edge of the Millwall area. Town keeping up the pressure. Now Mehmeti just outside the box off to our right hand side, has Clark for support. Mehmeti then gives it to the former Sunderland player with his pink boots, gets inside the area. Clark low into the middle, stretching to clear away is Taylor. Out as far as Neal. Johnson gives it to Clark. Good pressure this from Ipswich Town. Clark inside the Millwall area, back towards Neal. Neal has a go. He's not too far wide off his right boot. Good play, very good play. Persistent. Millwall defensively were very good. They were filling all the gaps. They were blocking everything that was coming towards the penalty area. But then in the end, we just found a little bit of daylight, and that was all that was needed, and that was the right thing to do. Get daylight, try and hit the goalkeeper's left-hand side, which is the far corner. We've seen Philogene on many occasions do that, and actually ball go in the back of the net. That wasn't very far away. Their teammates for a long time, Dan Neal and Anthony Patterson. Patterson will have been pleased to see that. Good effort from Neal, go just wide of his post. Neal up towards Athon. Athon back towards McAteer. McAteer just bit into the ball by Mitchell. Millwall have it with Negley. He moves it on quickly to Langstaff. Running to the edge of the Ipswich area, overlapping inside the box is Negley. Negley into the middle. He fired it to the near post area. It was palmed out behind by Walton. Millwall have the first corner. Well, it was Mitchell down at Millwall that impressed me with his tenaciousness in midfield, and it was his tenacious there that managed to take the ball off of Matusiwa. He had no right to win it, but he did, and that resulted in this corner kick. Corner kick to Millwall, who have so many tall players. 2 of the back line are 6'4", another one, Taylor's 6'5". Sturge the shortest at 6'2". In comes the ball, headed away by an Ipswich player. And as far as Negley. Negley nods it down. Aziz Now with a moving ball, right-footed nick ball into the centre, headed away by O'Shea. Clark rises edge of the area, got enough head on the ball. Town can break, running through the centre of Portman Road is Neil, plays to his left and to his right. He goes to the right-hand side. Mehmeti doesn't get on the ball, didn't have quite enough on it. Negley was there to clear for Millwall. That was a real chance for Town on the break.
Yeah, it's a great breakaway, but the Millwall players did the right thing. They just retreated, they didn't come towards the ball, and then when the decision was to be made, we should have gone Matisse were to the left-hand side, not to the right.
Clark finds Johnson. Nice tempo about this game. Both sides with a threat. Johnson, lovely reverse ball to Mehmeti by the byline. Into the middle it comes, but smothered away. It was Athon who went to the ball, but Millwall did their job. It's come off Athon last for a throw to Millwall in front of their supporters, as noisy as ever, over in the far right corner of Portman Road.
Yeah, this is a good start to the game. It's both teams, they know how important this match is, and what they're doing is they're just trading punches at the moment, almost to knock the stuffing out of their opponent early on and trying to make the game a little bit easier for themselves. But you've got two of them doing it, and nobody's actually sort of wobbled at all at the moment. 7
minutes gone, 0-0, as it was full time on Boxing Day between these two sides. A couple of years ago, Town won this fixture 3-1. Chaplain Luongo, of course, now a Millwall player, and Broadhead on the score sheet for Ipswich Town on that occasion. Thrown again to the Frenchman, former Brentford player Tristan Kramer, in front of the Millwall supporters. Flick header on from Aziz, nodded back by Matusiwa. Up goes Clark, higher than his marker. Ball drops down to Athon, battling well for it, the number 31. A goal scorer last weekend, of course. Jack Clark's on his backside, far side. The referee signalled it's an Ipswich Town ball, tight to that far touchline.
Yeah, Millwall were doing exactly what we expect. They're being very aggressive, very determined, but we're standing up nicely. I like the way we're standing up to them. I really do. You know, it means that we're prepared to fight. If it's a day for fighting, we'll fight.
Johnson, in the absence of Nunez and Davis, on this free kick far side in front of the Millwall fans. Town attacking the end off to our right. Let's see what the delivery is like from the former West Ham player, who of course had an assist last week for Athon. And it comes from Johnson towards the far post. Furlong cleared away just off the line by Cooper, still inside the Millwall area, nodded out of the box, then fully cleared by Aziz, out as far as Matusiwa. He controls it, doesn't want to go back to his goalkeeper if he doesn't have to. In the end he gives it short to O'Shea. O'Shea along the deck to the right hand side. Neil underneath us, Neil in field but away from Mehmeti, as the two January signings tried to link up. Here is the industrious blonde-haired Mitchell. Negley, who tends to drop off to this left-hand side an awful lot. Sturge flings the ball forward to Coburn, who's nudged O'Shea to the deck. Big strong boy Josh Coburn. Free kick on that occasion. He just overstepped the mark with his physicality. Now Johnson, who did do very well last week, albeit he's up against a far better player in Aziz this week. This is a huge test for Johnson, but deserved that clean sheet. And a rare 90 minutes at left back. Furlong to midfield. Athon turns it out to the right hand side. Mehmeti looking forward to find the Spaniard. Just the bounce to deceive the Millwall defender Taylor. It will be Kramer to clear away from right back.
Yeah, I saw the potential of the
Johnson down that far touchline to Clark, who flicks his header in field looking for Athon. Matusiwa's touch takes it out.
Yeah, I saw the potential of the pass from McAteer to play that diagonal just round the back of the Millwall defence, but I never believed it was going to get through, and there was a little bit of hesitation in the Millwall defence, and ultimately it got through. But Azon didn't even believe it was going to come, so it came to nothing. But it was, in the end, a good ball from McAteer.
O'Shea clips the ball in half volley back towards Walton. Yet to make a save, but he has had a few touches inside this first. 10 minutes gone now on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town's last game for just over a fortnight. Nothing, of course, on Good Friday, because Southampton are in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Next time here is Easter Monday against Birmingham. Neil skips away from a challenge in midfield, gives the ball out to underneath us on Furlong. Neil down the line to McAteer, who signals he was going to be caught offside. I think the pass was intended for Mehmeti. It's out for a throw-in to Millwall. Understandable that McAteer has been preferred to Egley for this particular game against this physical Millwall side. No doubt that Burns would have started had he been fit. Here is Neil. He got the nod of approval over Jack Taylor, which surprised me a little bit, as Johnson plays the ball back to Walton, still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon. Obviously we'll bring you news of any other goals and any other of these 12:30 kickoffs this lunchtime. Town playing it out short at the back. Matthew Seward drops a shoulder, deceives Cundle, looks for Clark, well read though by Kramer. Kramer in a midfield area for Millwall. Matthew Seward looked to have fouled Langstaff, but the decision has gone the way of the Ipswich Town man. Langstaff can't understand it.
Referee trying to say, I'm the boss, I make the decisions, because it was a foul, but the player then sort of grabbed the ball to sort of say, well, it's mine, it's my free kick, but he gave handball in the end, so he wants to say to the players, I'm in charge.
Clark started this game well. He's now fine Mehmeti. Mehmeti's just bitten off a bit more than he could chew on halfway. Here is Negley. Negley asks too much of Coburn. O'Shea took a chance trying to play it back to Walton, and then it comes off Coburn. Those two are having a right heavyweight battle at the moment. It's out for a throw. O'Shea's still out of view on the deck off to our left-hand side. The referee having a little word with Josh Coburn. Christian Walton speaking to the referee as well.
Well, I know what happened. Coburn pretty much, he knew he was offside, and when the ball was played in his direction, he thought, I'm not going to touch the ball, but I'm going to be close enough to O'Shea to cause him a problem. And O'Shea sort of just hesitated a little bit, thinking maybe he's going to get an offside decision, and then he didn't, and there was that sort of problem that arose as to who was going to win the ball.
Yeah, the referee had a bit of a word there with Coburn. Still 0-0 in the other two lunchtime fixtures. The main focus for us against Blackburn, Middlesbrough, but also Derby against Birmingham as well. Town go long and diagonal out to this right side. The ball just runs away from Casey McAteer and out for a throw-in.
That's amazing. That got an applause there, that diagonal ball. It was all because if it came off, it was spectacular, but it had no chance of coming off.
Here is Sturge getting ready to take this throw-in. Down this near side, the Millwall left, aiming towards Coburn. Furlong was in the right place for Ipswich Town. Cooper rises above Athon, as you would expect him to do. Touched on by Cundle to O'Shea on the halfway line. The Ipswich Town captain plays it forward, but onto the chest of Cooper, who'll do well to prevent a corner. He's just managed to do it. It's out for an attacking throw to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, he just needed a word, didn't he? I mean, he didn't need to deal with that ball. He could have just let it sort of run into the penalty area. The goalkeeper would have come and taken it off him, but he didn't get the shout. You must tell the player, he can't see everything.
He's absolutely massive, Jake Cooper. He always looks one of the biggest players in the Championship. He's back inside his 6-yard area off to our right. Darnell Furlong with his first long throw into the Millwall area. It's 0-0, headed away by Kramer. And as far as Johnson nods it down to the penalty spot. Millwall haven't got it away just yet. Greaves might try the overhead. Cooper got himself in the way and rather need the ball away, so it's not travelled far. Neil. Ipswich recycling with Mehmeti. Curls the ball towards the far post, despite the best efforts. McAteer can't keep it in. It's out behind. And a goal kick to the man in yellow, Patterson.
Yeah, I think we've got a certain degree of control about the game. You know, there's nothing, no real chances have come. The best, I think, really, well, obviously Furlong peeling around the back, got a sort of a header that would have gone in, but they defend that sort of situation really well, Millwall. So they're not really chances, just half chances. But I think we have been slightly in charge of the game. So you've got to say this is a pretty good start.
Unbeaten in the last 3 games against Millwall. They've kept clean sheets in the last 2. Johnson gets the better of Aziz, who thankfully we've yet to see in this game. Now Aziz is on the ball, but facing his own half of the pitch on the halfway line. That's where we'd like to keep him, because he has had a terrific season. Aziz, 8 goals, 7 assists. Massive percentage of Millwall's positive output. Belted forward by Taylor. Coburn is overly physical on Greaves. He's getting very close to a yellow card, is Josh Coburn. Greaves has gone down holding his face. Dara O'Shea speaking to the referee. Certainly ruffling feathers up there, Josh Coburn, amongst the 2 Town centre-halves. And he does get a yellow card.
Well, modern-day refereeing for me. Never a free kick. I think that's what you expect. We expect that from our centre forward. You expect it from the opposition centre forward. They've got to make the life difficult for the centre-halves, and that is all he's doing.
Yeah.
Referee, you've made the job hard for yourself now.
Alex Neil and Kieran McKenna disagreeing over that down there, but having calm discussions. Two terrific managers, both been very respectful, both big fans of the other, quite rightly so. It's Furlong, it's a powerful header in midfield. Kramer to Cundle, nodded on by Langstaff. Greaves has to go down on one knee to eventually deal with a bouncing ball. Clark's pass is wayward. Sturge tidies up. Back towards Patterson. One of three really good signings for me in the January transfer window, Patterson. Coburn might have got away from Greaves, now up against O'Shea. Coburn with a chance maybe for Millwall. He shoots blocked off by O'Shea. Great work from the captain to just adjust and get his body in the way. Out it goes for a Millwall throw.
Yeah, it was a good move, typical sort of a very direct move, but the centre forward did well, Coburn. He's just been booked, but it's almost as if, well, too bad, I can't do anything about that, but I should still be a threat to these centre-halves, and he is.
Yeah, he's not a bad player at all, Josh Coburn. I remember seeing him playing for Bristol Rovers on loan against Town a few years ago, actually on that 0-0, after which Town kind of turned the corner. Throw in for Millwall. Flick header on from Cooper, high inside the Ipswich area, nodded on again. Greaves gets his forehead on it. Aziz with a little nod down. Town can't quite clear their lines. Aziz's shot is blocked. Now, Town on the counter-attack. O'Shea picks out an excellent ball to Clark. Terrific from the captain. Clark is one-on-one with Mitchell, who's not a defender. Clark skips away from Mitchell, edge of the Millwall area, to Mehmeti. Nice 1-2 back to Clark. Clark still has the ball, tries to tee up Mehmeti once more. Millwall by that point had at least half a dozen bodies back. Clark has the ball wide left, now to Neil. Clark again in front of the Millwall fans. Johnson has a go, deflected. Patterson saves it, but spills it. Sturge gets it away. Up to halfway, that was good from Ipswich.
Yes, it's what the crowd want, it really is. It's a little bit of bombardment, and they don't mind a bit of bombardment.
18 gone, 0-0. Back with O'Shea, the ball. He started that move. It was a lovely ball to Clark. O'Shea to Neil. He gives it back to his skipper. Matthew Seawer can't be found just yet. O'Shea holds on to the ball that goes back to Neil. Now Furlong in the shade of the stand that we're in here at Portman Road. Underneath us, Mehmeti tries to burrow his way forward. Sturge blocked him off, gives it to Mitchell, who came through the youth ranks here. He plays it forward. Greaves miscontrols. Good work from Johnson. Neil picks out a pass to Mehmeti. Mehmeti spins, runs towards the edge of the Millwall area. Anas Mehmeti might fancy a shot, tiptoes into the box, goes through the legs of Cooper, but then lost his footing unchallenged. Mitchell brings it away. Well won by Matthew Seawer. McAteer, wide right, low ball into the centre, touched away by Cooper. Good pressure from Town. Shot from Neil, blocked off, finished. Oh, what a save from Patterson! It was superb from Athon from 8-9 yards. Patterson though flung out a big right hand and somehow got it over the bar. That was superb goalkeeping.
Yeah, this is good that we stop it from going out over the right sort of byline. Then the cross has caused them all sorts of problems. There's two efforts on target, going on target. One got through, but the goalkeeper's save is outstanding.
Great save from Patterson. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Signs they may be getting on top again in the 20th minute. It's been a good game this so far between the teams third and fourth in the championship table. Plenty blue shirts in the box off to our right. In comes Clark's corner towards the far post. Greaves heads it into the middle. Touchdown by Patterson on one knee. The Millwall player Taylor managed to get it to Langstaff, who cleared to halfway. Millwall a bit fortunate in the end. Matthew Seawer has the ball far side. Drags it back, gets away from Coburn. The Dutchman still has the ball, running down into the centre circle. He plays it square to his colleague Neil. Neil, first time on to Mehmeti. McAteer's gone into a central area because Mehmeti's gone wide right. Mehmeti still has the ball, looking up. He hits McAteer with his cross. That was unlucky from both of them's perspective, and the ball's cannoned out behind.
Yeah, I always wonder how much homework one team does on another team, and it always staggers me how the opposition don't deal with the runs of Leif Davis. And also the other thing I don't understand is they must see it time and time again from set plays that we have somebody that peels round the back as a sweeper and gets a little header from inside the back of the 6-yard box. We get Dara O'Shea doing it. We get Kipri does it when he plays, and on that occasion it was Jacob Greaves. I don't know whether they do homework.
Ball headed in field by Coburn. Langstaff challenges. The ball's out off a Millwall player. Ipswich Town throw over on the far side. They had won 4 in a row ahead of last weekend Millwall. In fact, overall only Coventry have won more games this season, and they're looking for a 5th successive away win this afternoon, this Millwall side. They've won 5 of their last 6 on the road, only losing at Coventry. They're a really strong outfit, also good at the Den as well, as we saw just after Christmas. Matusiwa to McAteer, who lost his footing. Mitchell gives the ball to Negley. Back to Cooper, just inside the Millwall penalty area, off to our right. Mehmeti does some good pressing of him, and Cooper turns and clears into the Ipswich half, where O'Shea hooks it up, brought down by Cundle, who's sitting alongside Mitchell in midfield. Negley's playing a more advanced role. Kramer collects the ball with his right instep, far touchline, tries to play it down the line for Aziz. Johnson is there, and Johnson guides it back to Walton. Walton's clearance up to halfway, 0-0. Athon with a good header on. Cooper, former Reading player like Femi Aziz, plays the ball to Sturgeon, gets it back. Now Mitchell goes in between the 2 centre-halves of Millwall. Real fans' favourite, Billy Mitchell, one of our own if you like. Now it's with Taylor, formerly of West Brom. In the D is Cundle. Taylor carries the ball away from the back line of Millwall, playing it forward, looking for Aziz, has to judge the bounce. Aziz flick header goes infield, but Matusiwa is there to nod it back to O'Shea. O'Shea's clearance is as far as Mitchell. Clever little header from Mitchell to find Kramer. Kramer has a dig, but is a distance wide with his right footer.
Yeah, I just wonder there that the decision that Ben Johnson's got, does he stay out wide with his man, or do you come in to prevent the shot going in? I think you have to come in. The shot is at that moment the most dangerous thing. Allow the ball then to be played wide to the man you should be marking. That is what you should do for the team.
A quarter of this game gone, still 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Matusiwa infield to Neil. In comes the challenge of Langstaff. Neil gets away from it, but not the block off of Mitchell. Mitchell gets the ball back from Sturge. Mitchell picks out a good pass to Aziz in the centre of Portman Road. Plays it forward to Coburn. Coburn holds off Greaves. The reverse pass trying to get into the path of Kramer. Well read and cut out by Ben Johnson, continuing to do well at left back.
Yeah, he just did. He chose the wrong time to give that pass. The centre forward Coburn. It was on to play the pass. Then he kept possession. 2 more touches. Then tried to play the pass, and it wasn't on anymore.
Kieran McKenna speaking to the referee's assistant and the 4th official down below us whilst that was going on. The chest trap from Negley reaches Mehmeti. Now Matusiwa spins away from Negley, finds Mehmeti up towards halfway. Good play from the Town number 5. Clark bends the ball forward to an offside Athon. Looked a mile off to me. Flag's gone up against him. Shame.
Yeah, I gave it as well, Brennan. It was right in front of me. My flag went up before the assistant referee.
Yeah, he got it right, didn't he? We agree with that one. Yeah. Sadly for Town.
And if I can get it right, then it must have been offside.
Kieran McKenna writing some notes down below us. This team have this terrific record of just 1 defeat in 40 championship games on this ground. Given away by Millwall at the back, but they win it back. Good strong challenge by Taylor, which upends Clark. Free kick to Millwall at the back. Not quite sure what for, but they've got a free kick.
Yeah, I think so far, I think we'll be quite pleased with how we've started the game, but so will Millwall. Millwall probably wouldn't have wanted to concede the amount of efforts, if you like, on target and at their goal. They probably would have wanted to improve on that, but it's 0-0. It's where they want it. We ideally would have liked to have taken the lead by now, so, but we're playing all right. That's the main thing.
25 minutes gone in the Portman Road sunshine. Greaves wins a header over Coburn. Athon holds it up nicely on halfway. Here is Jack Clark swinging a diagonal out to the right-hand side underneath us. Difficult one for McAteer to deal with. Can't manage to do that.
Yeah, there was no future in that, Jack Clark. He should have sort of looked around to people within 15 or 20 yards of himself. There was no need on that occasion to look up across the pitch.
Won at Bristol City, Wrexham, Preston and Hull this season. Millwall. They've got Middlesbrough away on Friday night. What a week for them. Portman Road, then the Riverside in quick succession. The ball's back with Patterson. Poor clearance from Patterson, controlled by Neil. Couldn't control it well enough. The ball's through Aziz. Kramer's going to go into it. Gets there just ahead of Greaves, but excellent work again from Johnson. Matussi was caught on the ball by Langstaff, but it rolls back to Johnson. Poor kick from Walton. Aziz has the ball wide right outside the Ipswich area. Tries to put it in the far top corner, but he's got that woefully wrong.
Yeah, very, very poor sort of attempt at a finish in the end. You know, if you get it right, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic goal. But that is the type of thing they do. We know they're going to defend heroically, Millwall, but they also can hit you on the break, and that was an example of it.
Well, so far Town have at least been better than they have been in recent first halves, but unable to break through against Millwall. Poor kick from Walton. Athon robs Mitchell. Good work from the Spanish striker. Neil looked to have overrun it for a second, but slid down on his left hip and dragged the ball back to Johnson. Johnson clearly growing in confidence playing left back. We'll have to do it against Birmingham again, or I suppose there is the option of Greaves going there against Birmingham, because Kipre will be available on Easter Monday. Leif Davis still not available until Norwich next month. Town's next away game, Carrow Road, as things stand. Johnson down the far touchline, the left to Neil. Town in blue in possession with Clark turning away, slaloming away from the first player, Cundall, then going to ground under the challenge of Mitchell. The loose ball comes out to Neil. Town have it inside the Millwall half of the field with Mehmeti. Couple of step overs, then gives it to the right and McAteer. One-on-one with Sturge, going beyond his man and trying to knock it in early. Comes off Sturge. Town win their second corner.
Yeah, two things I like about that. First of all, Mehmeti, I think, as a number 10, is getting enough of the ball in good areas. His control is really tight today, and you can see maybe later on something coming from him. And secondly, Mehmeti, you know, he's looking to be direct. We don't have a Wes Burns, so if you're going to take over from Wes Burns, do what Wes Burns normally does.
Johnson on this Ipswich Town corner kick by the tunnel off to our right hand side. It'll be an away swinger from the left back. 0-0, 28 minutes played at Portman Road this lovely sunny spring afternoon. Johnson waiting, plenty targets to hit in there, and it comes fairly low, hasn't been cleared. The shot from Athon might have come off the backside of O'Shea. It's gone out behind for, the referee agrees with me, a goal kick to Millwall.
Yeah, not really pleased with the corner kick. I think it's too low, too much to the near post. There's a lot of congestion there. It isn't going to come to anything. I do feel that we are a bit better when we hit the long one to the back post.
No starters in this game from the last time these two sides met here. It was only the season before last. A completely new 22 players starting this 12:30 kick-off. On that occasion, Burns and Hurst were in the Ipswich Town team. As Greaves challenges Coburn. The ball's then hooked forward for Athon. Over the top of him, as you would expect, goes all 6'5" of Caleb Taylor. Aziz with a little touch. Matussi tidies up with a nod back to Greaves. Greaves in turn finds Walton, closed down by Langstaff, but he always had time to just touch the ball off to his right. And Dara O'Shea, approaching the half-hour mark, still yet to see a goal. O'Shea plays the ball into midfield, and Matussi left-footed, lifts it out to the far touchline, and Johnson takes it on his right thigh, tries to get away from Aziz. Infield from Johnson to Matussi forward to Clark with a nice first-time layoff to O'Shea. Crowd enjoyed that. O'Shea flings the ball up towards Athon, but it was easy for Taylor to read and intercept. Athon then gets the better of Taylor inside the Millwall area, deflected in and then nodded out behind by Cooper, who pats palms with his goalkeeper as a way of gratitude. Corner to Town.
Yeah, we got a little bit lucky with the Athon one. You know, it should have been dealt with by the Middlesbrough player, but it wasn't. Athon seizes on it, goes into the box. We get ourselves another corner. We are winning a lot of corners. We've got to make these pay.
Clark positioning the ball in front of the flag over in the far right corner of Portman Road. We're in the 31st minute. This huge game at the top of the Championship table. Both sides in the top four. Both sides aiming for automatic promotion to the Premier League. And it comes this corner kick from Clark. The back header away from Taylor's a good one, rushing towards the far post. It's gone out for a corner, a throw near side to Ipswich.
Yep, they've done their homework all of a sudden, or they've done their homework today. They didn't do it last night. They tracked that. They tracked that run of Jacob Greaves down lovely. Same position, back post in the 6-yard box. Greaves peeling round the back. The defender does it really well.
I were to see a first half goal at Portman Road. Furlong with this long throw into the Millwall area. Not on this occasion. It's headed away by Taylor. Now, which side of the flag is it bouncing? It's bouncing the corner side of the flag. It's a fourth corner for Ipswich in this first 32 minutes. Johnson's last one was not the best, to put it mildly. Let's see what he can do with his delivery on this occasion. Town have 8 players in and around that penalty area off to our right hand side. Neil just outside, offers himself up short. Johnson's ignored him. In comes the corner from Ben Johnson. O'Shea tries to do something with it. Clark clips it up in the air. Little nudge from Sturge in the back of Athon. Millwall get the ball away far enough. Clark guides his header back to Matusewar. He lets the ball come across his body and then dink it out to the right hand side. Matusewar to Mehmeti. Johnson down the right wing for a second, overlaps. Still down the right from the corner kick. Johnson overcooks his cross. Aziz watches it come across his body. Keeps it in on the far side. Aziz down the line, easily cut out by Neil. That was poor from Aziz, but credit Neil. Neil skips infield for Ipswich Town. Tries the reverse ball into the box looking for Mehmeti. Poor clearance from Aziz. Hasn't got his game going at all, which suits us. Matusewar to Furlong. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Every kick of every Ipswich Town match. Alex Neil waving his right hand around. Very much a tracksuit manager, the former Norwich boss. A couple of promotions on his CV with Sunderland and Norwich. Alex Neil. Here is Matusewar deep inside the Ipswich half. Just gets it to Neil, who toe pokes it away from Aziz. Johnson decides to use Walton. Safety first option from the left back. We have exactly 12 minutes to go in the half. O'Shea in the bright sunshine off to our left. Picks out a good pass to Greaves. Greaves then gives it away. Mitchell straight on it. Mitchell to Aziz. In goes Johnson. Aziz goes down. Bounces straight back up the number 11. Kramer's making an overlapping run. Aziz finds him on the right-hand side. In line with the 18-yard box of Ipswich Town. Back towards Aziz. Left-footed delivery from him towards the far post. But taken out of the sky very comfortably by Walton. Yeah,
poor cross. He hasn't really done very much this season in this game. He's sort of getting everything pretty much wrong, which is good for Town. So, you know, that was a sort of a harmless, sort of floaty ball, too high. Always going to be the goalkeeper's ball. O'Shea goes long. Taylor, red-hot favourite to get there out of Athon, and does. He nods it down for Kramer, who tucked in field. Kramer tries to hold off Clark. Good hustling from Clark. He's forced to throw in. Johnson takes it quickly, throws it down the halfway line to Neil. Goalless as O'Shea gets the ball. He gives it quickly to Furlong. Furlong to Matusewar, up towards Athon. Athon tries to touch it off to Neil. In flies Kramer, doesn't take any prisoners with that one. And the ball's in the Ipswich half with Furlong. Back it goes towards Walton. If you went with us earlier on, Town have a potential debutant on the bench this afternoon. Somto Boniface, recently just called up to the England under-20s squad. Former Chelsea player, been a regular in the under-21s for Town this season. He's on the subs bench. Without, of course, Burns, Kipre, Davis, Nunez. Needs must. Baggett also sitting down below us, available for his first league appearance in what would be 4 years. Sturge loses the ball to Mehmeti. Town coming down the right-hand side outside the Millwall area. Mehmeti still has it. McAteer is there for company. He plays it back to the former Leicester man. McAteer back to Neil, 30 yards from goal centrally. Rolls it to Clark. Clark spins away from Kramer. Then to the right, and Furlong. One touch. Thought about the cross. Furlong holds on to it though. Back it goes to Matusewar. Vast majority of the Millwall players are behind the ball. In fact, now all 11 of them are. It's in the centre circle. O'Shea tiptoes forward just a few yards. Picks out a pass to the left, and Johnson short to Mehmeti. Mehmeti looks up into the area, doesn't deliver though, gives it short to Neil instead. Mehmeti around the corner to Clark.
Clark nudged off the ball by Kramer. Clark does well to find McAteer. Right side, just inside the Millwall box. McAteer, and it comes low, dealt with by Cooper along the deck and out behind another corner.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be another sort of right-footed corner from the right-hand side. That's one of the little things that we do miss from Leif Davis. You know, I think we are better, whatever side the corner kick is, with an in-swinging corner, but we haven't really got any left-footers today. I think Jacob Greaves would not be considered because he's important in the air.
Johnson with his and Ipswich Town's latest corner kick off to our right. 9 minutes of this first half to go, still 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. O'Shea's gone down in the 6-yard area, so too Cooper. So both captains are on the deck inside that rectangle off to our right. O'Shea's back up on his feet. Cooper still holding his left ankle, grimacing. Referee wants a word with both of them, both wholehearted players. Johnson waits patiently, readying himself to deliver from this corner kick. Just over 8 minutes of the first half to go at Portman Road, this 12:30 kickoff. Johnson with this corner, low, headed by Furlong towards goal. It was on target but blocked off easily enough. Cleared forward, left-footed by Kramer into the Ipswich half, and Matusiwa square to Walton, who's well out of his area. Walton, first time left-footed, hoists the ball up to the far touchline. O'Shea managed to keep it in. Clark flicks it on to Athon. Athon brings it down and then tries to find O'Shea. Great ball from O'Shea, carved off the outside of his right boot to McAteer, running at Sturge into the Millwall area, down the right channel to the byline. Crosses, it comes off Cooper once more for a 6th corner to Town.
Yeah, marvellous ball by Dara O'Shea, outside of the right boot, swung it, right the way to the right-hand side and caused a potentially very dangerous attack for Town down this right-hand side. Still didn't quite get beyond the defender to get the cross in, but we've won another corner.
Hopefully at some point Ipswich Town are going to make one of these corner kicks count. Maybe now. This is their 6th of the half. It's still 0-0. Deeper from Johnson towards the far post. Greaves with a free header, but the referee, as you probably heard, had already blown up for something that aggravated him. It's a free kick to Millwall.
Yeah, it was a good corner. They decided to go a lot deeper with it, and it was going to be an effective corner, but before the ball had sort of travelled sort of towards our sort of attacking area, there was a foul committed. I think it was Darnell Furlong, but it was one of those off the ball ones where he wasn't actually going to make contact with the ball. Nobody was preventing him from doing it. In the end, he did the jostling.
6.5 minutes to go until half-time. McMillan's alongside me on BBC Radio Suffolk, as he will be when Birmingham come here on Easter Monday, Town's last match. But of course they've got a fair number of players who are on international duty in between them. Aziz up against Johnson down that right-hand side, gets the ball into the box to Kramer. Kramer square, cleared away by O'Shea, 7 yards out. Town still plenty of players back defending. Mehmeti now clears to halfway, stomped forward by Cooper, headed out by Johnson. It's a rare foray forward from Millwall. They've not done that for a little while.
Yeah, that was a dangerous situation. No, they've been largely sort of employed on defending their own box, really, because we've actually started, we've not just started, we've done well in this half, and we have forced the game territorially very much towards the Millwall defensive box.
Ball cleared away by Ipswich Town. Mehmeti is on it far side. The Ipswich Town left, trying to take on Kramer under pressure from Kramer. Mehmeti just sees the ball go over the white line for a throw to the home side, who since they played Town, they've had 15 games since Boxing Day, 10 wins and 2 draws. That's really good form from Millwall. They'd always been there or thereabouts in terms of the top 6, but they've really put their foot down since the turn of the year. They've been one of the form sides, although Town, of course, are as well. No side has lost fewer games at this level than Ipswich Town this calendar year, just the 2, same as Southampton. O'Shea goes route 1, kicks it long, why not mix it up? Taylor trying to get the better of Athon. Athon plays it off Taylor and almost won a corner kick from nowhere. Town have gained a lot of ground. They have a thrown outside the Millwall area. Clark takes the throw quickly to Johnson. Johnson sets himself, pulls the ball back to Siwa. Greaves back to Siwa. To the left-hand side, Clark. Final 5 minutes of the first half. Clark tries to dink a ball into the box, blocked off. Aziz doesn't quite get it back. There's deflection. Siwa to Clark. Clark comes in field and has a go, and it's in! Jack Clark scores again for Ipswich Town. His first goal in open play for 12 matches, and it might be a massive one in the battle to secure automatic promotion to the Premier League. Ipswich Town lead Millwall by 1-0.
Well, I think it's completely deceived the goalkeeper. He's coming inside, he's looking for daylight, he's looking to bend the ball in the top far corner. I don't think that daylight really came, so he just drilled it hard, low to the goalkeeper's near side, to his right-hand side, and it's found the back of the net. That is a deserved goal. It is a vital goal.
His 14th of the season. Last time any Town player got as many as that in a championship season was Martin Waghorn 8 years ago. Seems longer than that since Martin Waghorn was it. It seems like decades ago, but he's having a terrific season, Clark.
Yeah, I've just seen the replay of it. It is amazing when a goalkeeper starts to think he knows what a player's going to do and takes a position to definitely deal with what he thinks is going to happen. It doesn't happen, and the shot actually went possibly 3 yards inside the near post, and the goalkeeper still couldn't get to it because he thought it was going to go the other way.
Blowing kisses up to his family off to our right-hand side as part of the celebration. He actually carried out his little daughter ahead of this game, Jack Clark, and again, it's his goal that has made the difference in this match. His last 3 goals for Ipswich Town have all been penalties. That's his first from open play since the one against Bristol City. Just said there he'd gone 11 without a goal from open play. He needed one, and he's got one. And Town have a 1-0 lead in the final 2 minutes of this first half, and are up to second in the live table with Middlesbrough drawing. Here are Millwall. That's because of goal difference. The two teams currently level on points for what it's worth. The Town do have a superior goal difference to Middlesbrough. Millwall haven't. For Millwall to go second, they'd have to win this game and Middlesbrough would have to lose, but a Town win, Middlesbrough draw would be enough for Kieran McKenna's men to be top 2 with the game in hand. It's a free kick for a foul by Sturge, just short of halfway, under the glare of Alex Neil. It will be taken by Darnell Furlong. Kieran McKenna chatting to one of his staff down below us. O'Shea comes forward to take this set piece for Ipswich Town. Plays it up towards Athon, but it's Cooper who heads it away. Touched down by Negley. Then Millwall go long. Coburn battling with Greaves, as he loves to do, now taking on O'Shea as well. Greaves does well. Good doubling up from the pair of them against the big man. McAteer rolls in field, then he goes down in front of the referee. Comes from Mitchell. It's free kick to Ipswich Town. That'll do. McAteer still down, just wiping grass off of his right knee as he regains his footing. Millwall have only lost 2 games in a row once previously under Alex Neil in the league. Portman Road in fine fettle. Final minute of this first half, which so far, thanks to the last few minutes, has been a productive one. Kieran still having long chats with the 4th official. Seems a bit agitated today, the Town manager. Here is Walton with this left footer up towards Athon, edge of the area. Cleared away by Sturge's right boot. Siwa cushions it forward. Neil challenges Mitchell. Ball goes out, 40 through to Ipswich. The referee had no idea that, had to rely on his assistant, which is fair enough, part of the job. 1 minute of added on time to be played. The ball rolls off Athon. Out for a Millwall through to Sturge by the tunnel.
Yeah, everybody will obviously expect Millwall to maybe change their way of play, but I don't think they do. They just don't seem to worry. If they do go behind, they have a way of playing and they stick with it very much so. But this is good for us. It really is. This will stop any sort of frustration creeping into our play.
Headed away by Taylor. Goes off the top of Matthew Sewer's head. Loaded up by Sturge. Chested down by Negley. Gets it back from Mitchell. Sturge plays it back towards Patterson, so unfortunate with the goal. Furlong goes to ground, out goes the ball into the hands of Kieran McKenna. Not quite sure what caused Furlong to go flying dramatically through the air. It's not having any of the apology from Negley though. That's it for the first half, and a productive one for Ipswich Town, who lead Millwall by 1-0 McMills.
Yeah, just before we actually scored, I was looking at the overall stats, and I thought this is really what you would want, from stats. Everything is in our favour. It's suggesting that this is going to be a home win, and then all of a sudden we fire from Jack Clark. We fire the ball through, deceives the goalkeeper. Wasn't his best shot, but it's sort of like gone in about 3 yards inside the post, but it's deceived the keeper and it's put us 1-0 in front. So that actually threw the cap on top of the first half performance for me, really, because the stats tell you everything that's happened, really. It's 64% of possession. That's brilliant. We're 8-4 with shots at goals and on target. They're sort of 4-1, so we dominate there. The other one, which is a far superior stat and is reflective of what has happened, is the touches inside the opposition box. Millwall have had 7, we've had 24, so it just tells you how many balls have actually been going into the Millwall penalty area, how much defending they've had to do in that area, and that really has told me very much, confirmed what I've been seeing, really, is one team actually having pretty much dominated the game. But the only thing that was always going against us was always the scoreline that Millwall would have liked to have right the way up to half-time, without question. They probably would have loved to have had it to the end of the game, but that was looking as if they would go in the right direction, Millwall, without really having played very well. We had played well and hadn't scored. We scored now, and for me, that will take the frustration out of everybody. It'll take the frustration out of Kieran McKenna's speech to the players. It'll take the frustration out of the feeling of the players for the second half. This is good so far.
Yeah, long may it continue. Ipswich Town have a 1-0 lead over Millwall at the break.
There's been another goal in the Championship as well, but not at Ewood Park. Still Blackburn Rovers 0, Middlesbrough 0. Derby ahead, though, at home to Birmingham City. Rhian Brewster on target in that one, and in the lunchtime kickoff in the Premier League, which had a delayed kickoff of 15 minutes. It's now Brighton 1, Liverpool 1. Liverpool equalising through Milos Kerkez after Danny Welbeck had opened the scoring at the Amex. During our half-time break, we will hear from the two teams through to the final of this season's Endeavour Automotive Suffolk Premier Cup.
BBC Upload is your creative space to be seen and heard on the BBC. It's the best in new comedy, spoken word and poetry in Suffolk. It might be a swashbuckling adventure.
Avast ye, matey, and walk the plank.
A slapstick comedy sketch. Think Ade Edmondson and Rick Mail with frying pans. Or poems and verse. It could even rhyme.
BBC Upload.
With Rob Jelly.
Thursday and Saturday evenings from 6. Listen on BBC Sounds. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Suffolk.
You're here with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are here all the way until Rob takes over at 6. Our main feature is underway, and Jack Clark has given Ipswich Town a first-half lead. 1-0 at home to Millwall. Clark's 14th goal of the season. Well taken. Last night in the Championship, a 3-1 win for Preston at home to Stoke, ending a run of 4 straight defeats for the Lily Whites. I mention, as well as Town Millwall, we've got 2 other games underway today. Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0 at Ewood Park, and Derby lead Birmingham City 1-0 0 at Pride Park. Leaders Coventry not in action until early evening. They're away at Swansea for a 5:15 kick-off. Among the 3 o'clocks, Hull in 5th will be favourites to return to winning ways at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton up to 6th after their win over Norwich in midweek face Oxford at St Mary's. Wrexham just outside the playoff places now, away at Sheffield United this afternoon. Norwich are at Charlton. Brighton 1, Liverpool 1 in the Premier League. 37 minutes gone at the Amex. Just one top flight game kicks off at 3. That's Fulham versus Burnley. Everton versus Chelsea from 5:30 today. Leeds versus Brentford in an 8 o'clock kickoff at Ellen Road. Just one of Suffolk's Southern Premier League teams are at home today. Leiston, 8 points off the playoffs in the Central Division with 8 games to play. Welcome Worcester City to Victory Road later. Bury are also 8 points off the playoffs with 7 to play. They're away at Hales Owen. Needham Market right there, level on points with the final playoff place, with a game in hand going into this afternoon's fixture at Redditch. For AFC Sudbury, the Great Escape looking less and less likely now. They have just 7 games left and are 11 points from safety, second from bottom. Today, the Yellows are at Barwell. In the Isthmian North Division, title-chasing Felixstowe and Walter United at home to Redbridge at the Martello Ground today. Nick Garnham covering that one for us later this afternoon. Newmarket are also at home today. They take on Wroxham at the Tristel Stadium. Mildenhall are at Waltham Abbey, and it's relegated Brantham Athletic at home to Lowestoft Town this afternoon. Now, holders Felixstowe and Walter United and 6 times winners Needham Market will contest this year's Suffolk Premier Cup final. The Seasiders came from 2-0 down with just 3 minutes of normal time remaining during the week to draw 2-2 with Haverhill Rovers before winning the deciding penalty shootout. Speaking with Nick Garnham post-match, joint manager Stuart Ainsley accepted his side got out of jail on the night.
We've had it 2 or 3 times this year where we've been down really late, and we've had some amazing turnarounds, which really, I have to give the lads credit in there. It's kind of a never say die attitude. That's happened 2 or 3 times this season where we've been, I think, I remember away at Brightlingsea, I think it must have been 3-1 down with about 5 to go. We won the game 4-3. Tonight reminded me of that, really, that it's just it's almost like an unconventional side of us where we just kind of throw the shackles off and stick the ball in the box and see what happens. And we've got some big lads and some goal scorers, within the 18-yard box. So that happened again tonight. We just went a little bit longer for the last 10-15 because nothing was really working for us. Thankfully, Josh and Billy have come up with 2 goals for us.
Once it went to penalties, did you fancy yourself, bearing in mind Harry Wright's heroics last season in this competition?
Yes, I did, but I also have been on the wrong end of a few in my time as well. So it is a lottery, but with a goalkeeper like Harry in goal, you always feel that he's going to probably save 1 at some point, if not 2. So when it was 4-4, I thought, well, this is the one. Then he's going to have to save the 5th one, and he did, to be fair. And he's been excellent for us all season. He's made some big saves, and having somebody in goal like that really gives you more confidence to it. If we do our job scoring our penalties, he'll probably save 1.
Another final to look forward to.
Yeah, it's obviously one that we want to be in. It's a trophy we want to retain. As the club hadn't won it before last season, it's a big trophy, a big competition for the football club. So yeah, we'll look forward to it. We've got to dust ourselves down and picked up a knock or 2 tonight for the weekend to return to league. But yeah, it's something certainly to look forward to towards the end of the season. Yeah,
elation for Felixstowe and Walter United on Tuesday night, but heartache for Haverhill Rovers. Ben Cowling's Thurlow non-league side running Isthmian North opposition, very close in Hadley.
I thought we were quite comfortable at 2-0 as well. And then obviously handball changes things and it becomes the Alamo for the last 10 minutes of the game. But yeah, we put ourselves in a really, really good position. To a man, every player that we had out there tonight was sensational. The ambition of this club is to be playing step 4 football. We played Waltham Abbey in the FA Cup at home earlier this season, and frankly they popped us off the pitch, and we've come a really long way in the intervening 6-7 months. So yeah,
I was going to say, good occasion for you tonight to play against a step 4 side and see how you cope, and you certainly cope very well.
Yeah, I think so. Again, there was a certain freedom. League games at the minute, position in the league table, there's a lot of pressure on getting results and getting results week in, week out. Tonight, that was off a little bit. I can't say anything about how proud I am of those boys out there today. They've given everything for the shirt. for themselves, for each other and for the club.
Yeah, defeat for Haverhill Rovers and their manager Ben Cowling in the Suffolk Premier Cup on Tuesday night. A great season they're having. Back in league action this afternoon in the Thurland Premier Division. A win at Fakenham could take them as high as second in the table. To Wednesday and the second semi-final in the Premier Cup between Needham Market and Bury Town at Greens Meadow in Stowmarket. 2-0 win for the Market men. Reggie Lamb putting them ahead after just 4 minutes. Miles Cowling doubling the lead just after the half-hour mark. Manager Tom Rothery pleased to see his side progress to another final after missing out last season.
I wanted to start well, I wanted to put them under pressure, put the back three or back five under pressure, play off mistakes and really ask them questions, and see whether they had the answers. And I thought we started really well. I thought first half in general we were pretty good really. They came into it a little bit more at the end of the half, I guess, but I thought by and large we had quite good control in the first half and carried a real good threat.
Second half, Bury 2-0 down. Did you expect them to sort of put more pressure on you?
Yeah, I expected them to come out a little bit, and I thought they tried to, but I thought within reason we kept them at arm's length really. I thought by and large that I'm always fussy, so there's things we could have done better in the second half perhaps, but I thought, like I said, we kept them at arm's length. We changed the shape for the last sort of 15-20 minutes to try and negate any threat they could potentially give to us, and I thought they'd done that. I just thought the players were really professional and deserved winners really.
And now face Felixstowe in the final. Of course, they beat you last season on penalties in the semi-final, so interesting one to face them again.
Yeah, I was trying to forget about that one, Nick. Cheers. Yeah, look, it'll be tough. They're having a good season themselves, same as they did last season. So we know it'll be tough. We've played them enough times to know it'll be a difficult game. So, but we've got 8 league games now. I think the final schedule's sort of towards the end of April. So we can put that in the back burner now and just concentrate on the league. And I've just said to the players, don't take these moments for granted. Do you know what I mean? Whenever you make a final and you've got the opportunity to win silverware, that should always be celebrated and something you should be look forward to and be excited about. And it's just trying to create more history for Needham, and that's what we're here to do. So it'll be a tough game, but one we'll look forward to.
Needham Market manager Tom Rothery speaking after his side's 2-0 win over Bury Town in their Suffolk Premier Cup semi-final. Just away from football, Bury St Edmunds rugby players away at Barnes today in National League 2 East. The Wolfpack joint top of the division with 4 fixtures remaining. Later this afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk, we'll hear from Bury's Director of Rugby, James Shanahan. In London and South East Division 1 this afternoon, Sudbury are away at unbeaten league leaders Colchester. In hockey, both Ipswich and Bury St Edmunds women's teams rounding off their latest Eastern Premier Division campaigns this afternoon. Ipswich's match with Dereham is underway at Tuddenham Road. Bury are away at Cambridge University from 2 o'clock. On day 2 at the World Indoor Athletics Championships in Poland, Britain's Dina Asher-Smith and Amy Hunt both qualified for this afternoon's 60 metres semi-finals. Olympic champion and world record holder Keely Hodgkinson qualified quickest for Sunday's 800 metres final. And Ronnie O'Sullivan won a tense deciding frame against China's Wu Yize at the World Open Snooker to reach a first ranking final in more than 2 years. It came the day after he produced the sport's highest ever professional break of 153 in his quarter-final victory over Welshman Ryan Day. The 7 times world champion never behind against Wu, but struggled to break clear of the world number 11 before finally completing a 6-5 victory. Second half from Portman Road on the way next.
Neil Johnson gives it to Clark. Good pressure this from Ipswich Town. Clark inside the Millwall area. Back towards Neil. Neil has a go. He's not too far wide off his right boot. Johnson, in the absence of Nunez and Davis, on this free kick far side in front of the Millwall fans. Town attacking the end off to our right. Let's see what the delivery is like from the former West Ham player. We of course had an assist last week for Athon. It comes from Johnson towards the far post. Furlong cleared away just off the line by Cooper. McAteer, wide right, low ball into the centre, touched away by Cooper. Good pressure from Town. Shot from Neil, blocked off, finished. Oh, what a save from Patterson. It was superb from Athon from 8-9 yards. Patterson though flung out a big right hand and somehow got it over the bar. That was superb goalkeeping. Matthew Seward to Clark. Clark comes in field and has a go, and it's in. Jack Clark scores again for Ipswich Town. His first goal in open play for 12 matches, and it might be a massive one in the battle to secure automatic promotion to the Premier League. Ipswich Town lead Millwall by 1-0.
The question has become more urgent. How do we sort fact from fiction? How can we believe what we see?
On BBC iPlayer, famously unreliable things, memories.
You can't hack a memory.
Stranger things have happened. The Capture.
This is deep fake. This is correction.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
As well as hearing from Bury St Edmunds Director of Rugby James Shanahan later this afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk. If you missed Paul Hurry, the new Ipswich Speedway boss, on last night's matchday preview, we'll bring you Claire Hetherington's chat with him again. We're also catching up with Ipswich basketball ahead of a bid week. The academy side in playoff final action on Thursday before the senior women's side have a playoff quarter-final against Worcester this time next week. The match tipping off at 1 o'clock at Cobblestone next Saturday. In the Premier League, Brighton 1, Liverpool 1, approaching full time at the Amex in the Championship. Blackburn 0, Middlesbrough 0, Derby 1, Birmingham City 0, and Ipswich Town 1, Millwall 0 in our main feature. Let's get back to Portman Road and join Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley ahead of the second half.
Change for Millwall from the bench. Mihailo Ivanovic is coming on, possibly, I guess, maybe going with the front two Millwall. He's certainly coming on for the start of the second half for Macaulay Langstaff. Could be like for like. He's certainly an attacking player. Got 13 goals last season. The young Serbian, who's in his second season at Millwall Town, as they were in blue, playing from right to left. So Walton's in the goal off to our right. Then it's Furlong, O'Shea, Greaves and Johnson. Matusiwa alongside Neil. McAteer, Mehmeti, goalscorer Clark, and up front Athon. On the bench, Palmer, Kayuste, Baggett, Boniface, Taylor, Eggley, Philogene, Akpom, Hurst. So Millwall have Patterson in goal. They're back four unchanged. Kramer, Taylor, Cooper the captain, and Sturge. Then you've got Kundle alongside Mitchell, a three potentially of Aziz, Negley and maybe Ivanovic if he's not up top with Coburn, who certainly will be. He's on a yellow, Coburn, after battling hard with O'Shea and Greaves early on in this game. On the bench, Crocombe, McNamara, Ballo, Watson, Bryan, Bannon, Mazusako and Lamptey. Millwall in their all-cream kit, defending the end off to our left-hand side. Let's see if Ipswich Town can add to their 1-0 lead, or at least go on to keep yet another clean sheet at Portman Road, as Athon's beaten in the air by Cooper. Bit of head tennis inside the half of to our left, eventually lumped forward by Kundle towards Coburn. Greaves is holding on to his shoulders, almost climbing on the back of him. Matusiwa goes back to Johnson, who's playing underneath us at left back in this second half. We've got a good view of Aziz, who will have to do an awful lot better than he did in the first half. I'm certainly not going to be daft enough to write off Femi Aziz, but in terms of his first half performance, not what I was expecting at all, thankfully. Johnson to Greaves. Greaves with a clearance up to Neil. Neil down the line trying to find Clark. Out it goes off of Kramer, in between Alex Neil and Kieran McKenna, for a throw into Ben Johnson. Goes short to Neil. Neil loops it up in the air towards Athon, just shielding his eyes from the sunshine. Clark touches it down, but only to Negley. Negley forward, but O'Shea wins that header. Clark tidies up, but the ball will actually curl to Sturge on the far side. Millwall have an invitation to come forward early in the second half. Sturge inside the area, away from McAteer. The ball's off Furlong for a corner kick to Millwall in the first couple of minutes of this half.
Yeah, a little bit lazy defending down the right-hand side, and in the end the Millwall left-back Sturge, he decided, well, if nobody wants it, I'll have it, and he picked up possession just inside the Ipswich half and got himself almost to the byline just by making a run with the ball. So we were a little bit lazy, really.
Town have kept 8 clean sheets in their last 13 here, just 5 goals conceded at Portman Road. Can they hold on to today's clean sheet from this Millwall corner? It's 1-0 Ipswich, and it comes from Aziz, touched down by Walton, back to goal. Kramer couldn't do anything with it. Clark, the best player on the pitch in the first half, brings it away, then checks in field. Clark then switches play to the far side of McAteer. Happy to see the ball bounce over his right shoulder. Athon wants it in the middle. He's played it into the box to Mehmeti. Mitchell gets back, gets in the way and sees it out behind. That was unfortunate.
Yeah, marvellous defending by Mitchell. It really was. He sort of makes out he's going to go and block the attempted cross. There was no attempted cross, so he decided, I'll just let it run out of play. That was good defending, but we had them on the rack there. That was a good breakaway, and Athon was in a terrific position, free, unmarked, making a run towards the back post. If we could have got the cross into him, it would have been a possible second.
Here is Patterson to clear the ball out over the head of Kieran McKenna. It bounces into the crowd underneath us. We'll hear from the Ipswich Town manager and also a player off the back of this game on BBC Radio Suffolk. And your thoughts welcome as well. 0800 141 2121 or text 81333. Start those messages SFK or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, pop SFK at the start of those as Greaves gets the ball back to Walton. Walton first time clears, and if you would like to join me on Monday's Blue Hour show between 6 and 7 on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds, the email address is brenner@bbc.co.uk. I'd love to hear from you. Neil finds McAteer, one-on-one with Sturge, getting into the area. Good run from McAteer into the middle. It comes, at ping-pongs around there. It was behind Neil. It didn't run to Clark, and after that ping-pong it went nicely back to Anthony Patterson, the Millwall keeper.
Yeah, I think he sort of, rather than put the ball in the danger zone, probably was looking for the second phase run, so he pulled it back a little bit, but it didn't really find anyone, so it was a good position, just wasted a little bit.
Cooper high in the air, Sturge can't keep it in, flags up over on the far side. It's an Ipswich Town throw-in, which Furlong is going to be taking, one of those players that was walking that disciplinary tightrope a week ago. Furlong, Mehmeti and of course Matusiwa all on 9 bookings. Players have got to get to 15 now to serve a ban. Here are Ipswich Town. McAteer measuring a pass back to Furlong, who in turn gives it to O'Shea. Walton and the D partially in shade off to our right in front of the Sir Alf Ramsey stand as Greaves goes back to Walton. Walton passes the ball up towards Clark. Clark with a deft touch square to Neil. Neil to the halfway line to Mehmeti, making a run in behind as McAteer. Just too much on the ball from Mehmeti. The idea was right and it's applauded by fans, but it went all the way through to Patterson. Yeah,
good spot, good run, but it was always just going to sort of go off the surface too quickly.
Oh, Negley's done very well to get away from Furlong. In comes his cross. It has to be a goal, and is. Furlong was knocked off the ball way too easily, and Millwall celebrate a massive equaliser. It's Coburn who could not miss, and after 50 minutes we're all square. Ipswich Town 1, Millwall 1.
Well, my instinct, I'd like to see it played back in. My instinct was looking at the assistant referee over this side, because I thought there was a possibility of an offside, but no flag went up. Referee didn't want to know. Goal was given, so I assume he had stayed onside, but I think we're arguing about the possible sort of foul on Furlong, but it's one of those ones where they've just shielded the ball and not really, and there's definitely no offside. That was a perfectly timed run. I've just seen it back. Perfectly timed run. The ball is perfectly sort of driven in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It finds the space, which is all you do with the cross. Find the space, let the player find the ball, and the centre forward Coburn did that, and pretty much he just had to guide it into the back of the net. It was an important goal.
Nothing wrong with that goal as well. Totally fair goal for me. Just too strong for Furlong, and as Mick said there, comfortably onside. It stands. It's 1-1. 51 minutes played. Headed by Cooper over the halfway line to Aziz. Still worries me, Aziz, because he's clearly got the threat of popping up and doing something special at some stage. Mitchell's done exceptionally well. Plays the ball out slightly behind Sturge, far side. Sturge has it down the Millwall left. Their fans really believe. Here is Cundall, 30 yards out, gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell goes square towards Kramer. Intercepted by Neil. It was a poor pass from Kramer. Clark up to the halfway line, held on to by Negle. He's released the ball. The referee's played a good advantage. Athon one-on-one with Taylor inside the Millwall area. Comes in field. Athon blocked off though by Taylor. Back towards Clark. No shooting space. Athon's dived in the area. He's going to get a yellow card for that. Good refereeing. Spot on. That was so poor. He's been booed, the referee, but he's got that 100% right for me. I don't like that from Athon at all.
Yeah, they've made a mistake where they get the opportunity to clear their lines. They opt to go a little bit too short. It's the wrong thing to do, and then they do appeal for a penalty, which, no chance, absolutely no chance.
There is Patterson getting ready to take this free kick. Athon becomes the first Ipswich Town player to be booked this afternoon. 53 gone. Wow, what a final period of this match. We have to go 38 minutes or so. Johnson throws the ball to Matusiwa. This is a test for Ipswich Town. Coburn closes down O'Shea. Been a useful outlet for Millwall. Furlong. Matusiwa can't chest it properly. Coburn gives it back towards Cundle. Millwall with a bit of momentum. Millwall give it away in midfield. Mametti to Clark, trying to hit Millwall with a sucker punch. Clark's carried the ball forward. Overlapping to the left is Johnson. Johnson's cross cannons off the shin pads of Taylor and goes out square.
Yeah, he's offers himself there, Ben Johnson, like Leif Davis would. Get down the outside of Jack Clark. He's in good possession of the ball. He makes the run, the ball goes to him, but his left foot slightly let him down.
Johnson pulled down by Aziz. No, says the referee. Looked like a foul. Nothing's been given. Aziz runs up to the halfway line, plays it forward. Half decent ball looking for Ivanovic. O'Shea takes it away from Walton. Good work from the captain. And then he's given away a corner kick in the end, though. That wasn't quite so good from O'Shea.
No, I've got to slightly disagree with you, Brennan, when you said that, because if he had left it for the goalkeeper, the ball now would have been way up in the opposition half. No danger. He opted to keep possession of it, and this is what has happened. It's a very expensive corner kick.
Yeah, it really could be. I just thought he mustn't have thought Walton was going to get there, but maybe he would have done. Bizarre decision in the end from O'Shea. Corner kick to Millwall. Aziz is on it, off to our right hand side. It's 1-1 on BBC Radio. Suffolk, he's put it into the far corner, but it's not counting because Walton was being impeded. Free kick to Ipswich Town.
Oh, that's interesting. That was always being floated over the top of Christian Walton, just to say, right, let's put some pressure on him. Hardly a touch, and I think it went in off of one of our defenders, Furlong.
Coburn might have got the slightest flick on it. Hasn't counted. Still one goal apiece with 10 minutes gone in the second half. Walton's back on the ball. Boy, we've got a final 35 minutes on our hands on BBC Radio Suffolk. As Town have the ball, just going right back. O'Shea. It didn't really surprise me that Alex Neil made a change at half-time. He's a very proactive manager. There's no need to panic, and they were only 1-0 behind, but I've seen him do that in the past. It's something I really like about him. I remember a game when Ipswich Town were at Preston a few years ago. He took off his right back after about 20 minutes. I've seen him do other things like that if things just aren't working. He's not worried about making changes.
Yeah, one system change, just to go for a basic 4-4-2 as opposed to the 4-2-3-1 they had in the first half, and it's worked perfectly.
Millwall ruffling a few feathers. Inside the Ipswich area is Kramer. Kramer went for glory. Cundle wanted it in the middle, so too Coburn, and Kramer slashed his shot high into the Sir Alf Ramsey stand.
No, it's worked for them. It really has, because they've sort of minimised maybe the possession they can have in the centre of midfield, but I don't always feel that Millwall were too bothered about that. So they've taken one out of there. You know, they've gone to the 4-4-2. They've got two up front, and now the two up front, that's the key to it all.
Just not used to playing against two strikers.
We've got
teams.
Two centre halves who are against two bullies, if you like, and the bullies are winning.
That's it. So few teams play with a good old-fashioned two up front. Athon heads the ball on, but it will be to Sturge rather than McAteer. Dropped a shoulder which foxed McAteer, and Sturge then clears over the top of Ivanovic. Mitchell with a little header down in midfield. He and Cundle are the two in midfield now. Johnson's header is wayward and out near side for a throw to the visitors. An ideal scoreline now all of a sudden this for Middlesbrough, drawing 0-0 at Blackburn this lunchtime. Tea time, Swansea are back, Coventry are back in action at Swansea. Random 5:15 kickoff for Frank Lampard's men. Neil hoists the ball up towards Athon, beaten in the air by Taylor, but Taylor's header square to McAteer. McAteer heads it on to Mehmeti. Mehmeti gets the better of Mitchell. Good play from Anis Mehmeti, up to the edge of the area, into the box, then gives it to the left, and Clark running from shade to sunshine inside the Millwall area. Low ball in, blocked away by Taylor, out behind for a Town corner.
Yeah, Jack Clark has got himself into a super position, and then he's got that right foot shot away. And what they do, the Millwall defenders don't trust the goalkeeper, not because he's a bad goalkeeper. They think, well, if I can block the ball, it saves the goalkeeper saving the ball. And one of the Millwall players come over, and it was a terrific block in front of the goalkeeper.
He's having a good game, Clark. It's very dangerous when Ipswich Town come forward. Their goal scorer this afternoon. Now he's on this corner kick as Town try to regain the lead just before the hour mark, and it goes to the far post. It's travelled a long way out the other end for a goal kick to Millwall.
Yeah, that was inches away from one of our boys getting a header from inside the 6-yard box in a central position. I think it's Jacob Greaves possibly.
Yeah, it was.
Just misses it, and then right on the back post is Athon, who's trying to tidy it all up but doesn't get a touch. He must be frustrated he didn't get a touch, because he should have done.
Town unbeaten in 6 since Wrexham, heading into this game. 4 wins and a couple of draws. As ever, they have had a habit of reacting well under Kieran McKenna to setbacks the last few seasons, particularly of course in the EFL. Tougher last season for obvious reasons, as Ipswich have a free kick at the back, which Greaves has, having received it from O'Shea. Johnson trying to be robbed by Aziz. Johnson goes down under pressure from Aziz. Free kick to Ipswich at left back.
See, they're putting our whole of our back four under pressure. They've got a man each to take, and there's pressure all the time. And if we can't get it into the centre of midfield, we are in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's been good management. It's made a difference for Millwall. McAteer on the far touchline goes back towards Furlong. Furlong left-footed up towards Athon, beaten by Cooper. And then there's a stumble by Cundle, maybe caught by Matusiwa. Referee was in a good position anyway. Free kick to Millwall, understandably with belief that they can go on and win this game. Well, that was a point apiece at Christmas, and as things stand at a point apiece right now between these two teams. Sturge just inside the Ipswich Town half of the field with this free kick. Exactly an hour gone at Portman Road. He puts it forward into the edge of the Ipswich area, headed on by Taylor, but headed out behind by Taylor.
Yeah, but that's where they are a threat. I mean, they haven't done anything with that, but the player that gets his head onto the cross from the free kick is a Millwall player, and you just feel that if they can do that, they're going to be able to direct one into a real dangerous zone.
It's one defeat in the last 7 away for Millwall. Really good on their travels. Still going to go to Middlesbrough, Stoke and Leicester. They'll be tough tasks. Play Oxford on the final day of the season. Matusiwa, ball out to the left hand side to Clark, miscontrolled it but now has it under his spell. He's run into the Millwall area on his favoured right foot. He shoots, he pulled his shot, blocked off by Kramer, then happy to put it out on this left hand side for a corner to Ipswich.
Yeah, no question, Clark is our man, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's the one. Every time the ball goes to him, you feel that something is going to happen, whereas if it goes anywhere else in forward areas, you just wonder whether we can do something. You don't when it goes to Clark. You definitely feel something's going to happen.
Clark, a massive threat from open play this afternoon. What can he do from this set piece? It's a corner to Town, 61.5 minutes played. Even Stevens at Portman Road, all eyes on the net off to our left hand side. Clark delivers, in it comes. With the header was Furlong, met it with plenty power, sadly off target.
Yeah, he's done everything right. He's made that run to the near post. He's the second in line, if you like. He's got room, he's got his forehead on the ball, but for some reason, although he's a yard or two past the near post, he decides to thump it straight. You know, he's obviously not aware how far past the near post he's come. It needed a little bit of a glance header, really.
Millwall trying to get up to the top tier for the first time in 36 years, it would be. They've never played in the Premier League. Only 2 seasons in their entire history have been spent at English football's top table. As Johnson sees the ball out behind against Aziz. I think he's enjoying that challenge this afternoon, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and you've got that 1v1 right across, from touchline to touchline. Ben Johnson against Aziz, and then the 2 centre halves have got Coburn and Ivanovic. That's tough. And then over on the left-hand side with Furlong, there's a 1v1.
Well done, Matthew Seawer to win the ball cleanly, going to ground. It's opening up. Town coming over halfway with Mehmeti into the path of Clark down the left-hand side, one-on-one with Kramer. The last thing the Frenchman needs. Clark's going to get into the area, left of centre, holds up the ball, needs support. Gets the ball eventually back to Johnson after a ricochet off of Aziz. Here is Matthew Seawer to Athon, out to the left-hand side. Good play from Town. Clark inside the Millwall area. Back it comes to Neil, who shoots wide. He's taking a deflection. The goalkeeper was rooted to the spot. Patterson, corner to Town.
Yeah, same sort of thing again. Is coming from Jack Clark. He seems to be the one that's getting the room, getting the time on the ball, and he helps to set up another shot, which is going on target, but gets deflected for another corner. But it's another corner.
Probably his best mate in football, Anthony Patterson. They're so close, Dan. Neil pretty much inseparable in their time together at Sunderland. Neil almost had the better of him there. Talking of Sunderland, Jack Clark on another corner kick for Ipswich Town. 64 minutes gone at Portman Road, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town scored in the first half, Millwall in the second. It's on a knife edge, this game. The referee having an extended chat with Dara O'Shea inside the 6-yard area. Got a ticking off there. Middlesbrough still goalless at Blackburn. Clark puts his hand in the air, that's the signal. In comes his deep corner. Players go down inside the box, appeals for a penalty kick. Nothing doing other than a goal kick to Millwall, says Mr. Salisbury.
Yeah, he's going to be scrutinising this because the starting point there obviously is O'Shea, who's trying to mess with the goalkeeper and the defender, so the referee's trying to scrutinise that. The ball's driven to the back post, and there's another melee there between 2 Town players and 2 Millwall players. There's a lot of nonsense going on. I don't think the referee's going to give anything really if this continues. It just ignore it all, I think. And
yeah, it's Greaves who's hauled down. Signs that Town are going to make changes. Taylor and Philogene coming on to freshen things up as Cooper clears the ball away on the far side to Negley. I'd imagine Philogene will be coming on for McAteer, and Taylor. Neil headed on by Clark. Forward from Kramer. Greaves and Walton have got to be on the same wavelength. Walton's out of his area and clears left-footed to Athon. Athon with a good layoff to Clark. Part of his game that's really improved of late, Athon. That kind of link-up play. Matthew Seawer with shouts of man on from the crowd. Gets away from Ivanovic and gets it forward to Mehmeti, onside, wide left, now inside the Millwall area. 1-1, he comes infield and shoots, blocked away again. Out as far as Mehmeti once more in the D. This time he might fancy going his left foot, he does, but he pulls his shot well wide.
Well, if you've only been sort of watching Millwall for the first time, you'll be thinking, how on earth do they get all these blocks in? Well, this is what they do. They defend heroically in their own box. They get numbers in there. They make it difficult for their opponents, and very few shots are really getting through to the goalkeeper. So they're doing their job. They've got this scoreline at 1-1 with 66 minutes gone. They'll be delighted with it.
Cleared by Patterson over the halfway line, approaching the final quarter of this game. Just the double change for Town at the moment. I don't know if that's going to mean Clark going to the right or whether Philogene will just go to the right. It's going to be interesting as Cooper goes down. Mehmeti didn't react particularly well. Referee wants a word with the Town attacker. And much ado about nothing in the end. Barry Bannon coming on to go into midfield for Millwall sometime soon. Here come the changes for Ipswich Town. That's it for McAteer. He'll come off to be replaced by Philogene. Hasn't done a massive amount at McAteer, sadly. And it is Neil who makes way for the freshness of Taylor, about to go away on Republic of Ireland international duty. Taylor, massive couple of weeks ahead for the Republic, trying to get to the World Cup. Clark is going across to the right-hand side, so different challenge for Sturge to deal with. Philogene and his favoured area down the left.
I hope it carries on all right, but we've just moved our very best player from the position he was dominating in. But let's hope the decision's right, and Philogene can do down this left-hand side what Clark was already doing, and Jack Clark can have an okay game over there, because I don't think he's as good over on that right-hand side as this left-hand side.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. Well, we know all about Barry Bannon. He was here with Sheffield Wednesday early on this season. That was back only in December, in fact, before he made his January move to South London. He's done well apparently so far. 36, so obviously can't be playing every game.
Well, with regards to that substitution, it produced a wonderful pass, but what worries me about that substitution is that Bannon is going into a two-man midfield, and the one thing he hasn't retained is a little bit of his legs are going a little bit, so there's a big gamble in there. They want him to produce a pass, but he might not have the legs to do the job.
Walton up towards Athon, who chests it back for Taylor. Taylor's powerful header reaches Mehmeti. He's crumpled underneath Cooper. Free kick in the centre circle to Ipswich Town. Taylor wanted to take it quickly, but Negley was in the way. Negley incidentally went to the left-hand side at half-time when Millwall became this 4-4-2. So it's Aziz, Mitchell, Bannon, Negley is their midfield four. In goes Kramer, out goes the ball behind Kieran McKenna. 21 minutes to go. Afterwards 0800 141 2121 if you want to speak to Graham and Mick after the game. Text 81333, start those messages SFK. Paul from Athon's given the ball away. Eggly floats it out to the right hand side, and Coburn's low attempted ball into the box comes off Greaves and goes out for a corner kick. Athon will be hoping nothing comes from this as he apologises to his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he wants to do. He's found the space, he's peeled away, the ball's good, he's got freedom. He's only got one guy in the box to get the ball to, and it proved to be too difficult for him. But again, you know, the second prize is his corner kick, and they're pretty good, you know, with corner kicks, so they won't be too worried.
20 minutes to go. All 10 blue shirts back in the box off to our right, defending this corner kick from Bannon, who's just come on for Millwall. In it comes, dealt with well by Walton. Recycled out to the right-hand side, and Bannon once again up against Mehmeti, back defending. Bannon's beaten him too easily inside, then he tries to shoot towards the near post. He was having his shirt tugged, he's right to complain, but Bannon should have done an awful lot better, because he did manage to still get away from Mehmeti.
Well, that's Mehmeti, who is a beautiful sort of attacking player, doesn't know anything about defending. All he knew was that he knew that Bannon really would have liked to check back on his left foot, so he covered that, but he left acres of space for him to go down the side, which is far more dangerous, and it's stupid defending.
Akpom and Hurst about to come on for Ipswich Town. Millwall overcooked that pass for Taylor, one would imagine for Mehmeti and Athon. Let's see, Ipswich Town using a second substitute window to make changes 3 and 4. 26 minutes played in the second half. That's it for Anas Mehmeti. Off he goes, and is Athon as well. So one would assume, given Clark's form this afternoon, this will be the attacking quartet that finish this game, and hopefully manage to get the third goal of the match at some stage. So of course Hurst, 3 in his last 6 in terms of goals. His confidence should be decent. Walton kicks the ball long, headed on well by Akpom. Philogene trying to get in behind Kramer. Kramer's done well there and passed the ball down this touchline to Aziz. Aziz off of Philogene, and it goes for a throw to Millwall. Will obviously be the happier with the scoreline, having been behind, and they are the away team. They've still got to go to Middlesbrough on Friday Town, most people felt, and still do feel, probably need to get a win from this one. It'll certainly make a big difference. Matthew Sewell with a nod down. Ivanovic can't get on the ball, as he hasn't quite managed to do since he came on. Bannon nudged to the floor by Matthew Sewell. Here is Akpom. Got praise from his manager for his cameo last week, Chuba Akpom. Fellagen stretches, controls the ball, but Kramer's quickly in there. Johnson takes a throw in up the halfway line to Matthew Sewell. He passes it back to Greaves. A few hearts flutter in Town's supporters' chests, because it looked a bit risky from Matthew Sewell. O'Shea up towards Akpom. Akpom with a decent touch, but Sturge gets on it for Millwall. Negley tries to play it in behind for Ivanovic. Not the right execution of the pass at all. Millwall get it back. It's quite messy on the far side of the field. Negley tripped by Clark. The referee's played an advantage. Millwall still have the ball in front of their supporters. Now in field from Cooper. Mitchell's on the ball. Taylor's going to try and rob it off him. He almost did. Taylor was unlucky. Patterson plays this ball forward, nodded down by Matthew Sewell, kept in by Clark. Millwall get it back though. Coburn wants it in behind, not enough pace on the ball. O'Shea was able to clear it, not very far, only as far as Sturge. Ipswich being forced back. Negley crosses, deflected out behind, corner kick to Millwall, and you fear at some point, given their height advantage, they're going to make something of one of these.
Yeah, well, they are putting us under pressure. We still look okay on the break. You know, I still feel sometimes when we seize possession, we look as if we might be able to go and get the second goal up the top end, but they are seriously putting us under pressure defensively this half.
Corner kick to Millwall. Exactly 16 minutes of this game to go. Very much hangs in the balance at 1-1. Bannon with the delivery, headed away by O'Shea, fully cleared by Clark. Negley, the number 10 for Millwall, controls the ball, gives it down the line to Bannon. His attempted cross is a poor one. Appeals for handball against Johnson. It's been given. Strange one. It's a free kick to Millwall down the left-hand side, just outside the Ipswich Town area.
Very dangerous position.
Not too many complaints.
Yeah. No, it was a little bit
daft, really.
The bent arm with the elbow sticking out. Fortunately, it was outside the box. That was the big worry.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
It was well outside the box, but this ball is going to get to that rucker player is much quicker than a corner kick's going to get. So that's the advantage of this being that much shorter.
Just over a quarter of an hour to go at Portman Road. Bannon has this free kick wide left outside the Ipswich area, and it comes from Millwall, spilt by Walton. Coburn shoots. There are too many bodies in the way. Thankfully, it came off one of them, and it was one of his own. It's a goal kick to Town, let off the hook rather there.
Yeah, bad mistake by Christian Walton, but I thought there was a little bit of a handball here by the player. No, it wasn't, it was a chest. I got it wrong, but it's come to nothing. It's our sort of goal kick, but in the end I thought it was a poor free kick, really. You know, great position to get into the danger zone, but they didn't manage to do it.
1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk as Hurst challenges Taylor. Taylor wins that aerially. Chest trap from Bannon, finds Negley. Negley then tries to get Coburn through on goal. Walton slices his clearance. My head's turned off to the right-hand side a bit too much for my own liking at the moment.
Yeah, you can't blame Jacob Greaves for doing that, but Christian doesn't like that sharp ball coming to him when he has to make an instant decision and get the ball up the park. He tends to sort of panic a little bit.
Aziz with this throw-in for Ipswich, short towards Negley. Fellagen was a nuisance and got on the ball. Fellagen with a good floated pass towards Clark. Clark against Sturge. He puts it beyond Sturge to Hurst, who might have to go it alone. He's now getting support. Overlapping to his right is Clark. Hurst gives it to Clark. Clark tries to go square inside the Millwall area. Cooper just gives Clark a little shove. The ball's up behind for a goal kick to Millwall.
Yeah, I think the Millwall defender thought, yep, he's had the last touch. If he doesn't want it, if he doesn't try and keep this in, then it's our goal kick, and the linesman was on top of it. This is a very interesting affair. It really is. This could seriously go either way.
Yeah, it really could.
It might not necessarily stay at 1-1. It could be 2-1 to Town. It could be 2-1 to Millwall. It's a funny game.
Patterson with this kick for Millwall off the edge of his 6-yard area. Derby, the only team leading this lunchtime. Millwall drawing here, of course, at Ipswich Town, and Middlesbrough drawing 0-0 at Blackburn. All kicked off at 12:30. Greaves to Johnson at left back. Johnson up towards Hurst. Hurst just about controls the ball, has to go back to his goalkeeper Walton. Walton clears from the edge of his 6-yard area, first time left-footed. Cooper wins an important header for Millwall. Bannon under pressure, didn't like it, it's given the ball away. Furlong to Clark. Clark closed down by Sturge. Akpom battling with Cooper. Cooper gets the better of the Town substitute. Matusiwa to Clark on the right-hand side. Early ball into the area, touched away as far as maybe Hurst. Almost a mistake from Taylor. Gave Hurst the ball. Bannon is back and prevents it going out for a corner. All throw over on the far side. Bannon up towards Coburn. Coburn touches it down, but only for Taylor. Taylor to Philogene. Taylor's gone and run out to the left-hand side. Philogene, the number 11. Are we going to see a special from him? Skips away from Mitchell. Goes square to Matusiwa. Matusiwa up to the edge of the box. Plays a 1-2 off Hurst. Matusiwa then finds Philogene. Wants it on his right foot if he possibly can. Can't shoot. He's picked out a pass to Clark, who scored in the first half. Now down the right channel inside the Millwall area is Furlong. He pushes it out, shaped to cross, gives it back to Clark. Clark puts a high cross into the Millwall area. Up there was Akpom, touched away by Aziz, but Johnson will get on it for Ipswich Town, exerting some pressure on the Millwall back line. Matusiwa back to Johnson. Johnson stretches, keeps it in play, but only to Greaves. And then back to Walton. Now O'Shea, the Ipswich Town captain, another one away on international duty with Ireland this coming week. It would be amazing to see these lads at a World Cup this summer. Taylor over the top, looking for the run of Hurst. Probably just going to get away from him. He gives a little tug on the shirt of Sturge. Nothing doing, then Hurst challenges, the ball goes out of play for a throw to Millwall behind left back.
Yeah, we're finding it difficult. I'm still hoping they've got the changes right with Philogene coming on, but I think Jack Clark certainly is not enjoying things on the right-hand side.
It's going to be a big talking point if Town lose this game, or even if they don't go on and win it. As the ball's headed on far side by Furlong, up into I was going to say the clouds, but there isn't a cloud in the sky today. It's a lovely occasion for football. Matusiwa to Philogene. Philogene with a little drag back, trying to get away from Kramer. Kramer challenges him. The ball squirts out to left, and Johnson trying to get down the touchline. Comes off Aziz. Throw in near side to Ipswich Town at 1-1. Johnson back towards Jacob Greaves. And now Walton. Interesting to see what Kieran McKenna does with his back four for the next game when Kipre is available once again. O'Shea goes to ground, ball's out far side. Does Kipre come straight back in, or does he stick with this four?
I think Kipre comes in.
Then the left back's the discussion, isn't it? Whether Johnson stays there or Greaves goes over. That's for another day. That's for Easter Monday, to be precise, when Birmingham are here. Return fixture from the opening day of the season. That seems a long old while ago since the rain in the West Midlands that Friday night. Walton clears right-footed up towards Hurst on halfway. Doesn't reach him because Cooper wins the header. Bannon flicks out his right boot. Matusiwa to Akpom. Akpom gets away from Mitchell, running centrally, then goes to the left, looks for Philogene. Wrong option. Heads are in hands, easy for Kramer to intercept. Now Aziz wants to take on Johnson. Across comes Taylor and gives it back to Greaves. Good play from Taylor. Johnson had Aziz in his pocket there again, though. He's done very well.
Yeah, I think
battle.
Johnson was the man that did really well there. He sort of made it difficult for the Millwall players to come out of that area. He was the key. Everybody else tidied up around him.
Taylor up to the halfway line, passing a ball down the middle, looking for Hurst. Oh, unlucky. You can see exactly what he's trying to do, Taylor. Just too much on it. He's always curling away from Hurst to himself as away on international duty, albeit Scotland have obviously qualified for the World Cup. His first view of Everton's new stadium. That's randomly where one of Scotland's games are in the international break. It's kind of like they've got Japan and Ivory Coast. Mitchell gets the better of Akpom out to the left-hand side. Ivanovic in front of the Millwall fans. In comes his cross. Doesn't look the worst one, taken by Walton in between two of his own defenders.
That was a wonderful take by Christian Morton. That ball had extreme pace on it.
Clark takes a tumble on the halfway line. Free kick for that foul by Negley on the Town goal scorer. Double change by the looks of things from the Millwall bench. A couple of wide players coming on by the looks of things. Tom Watson on loan from Brighton. Here is the lad that scored in the 95th minute for Sunderland at Wembley last season as they got promoted to the Premier League. Joined Brighton off the back of that. Currently on loan at the Den. He's going to be coming on for Negley by the looks of things. And it's actually Mazu Sakho who is coming on, who's a midfielder rather than Bello the winger. So Mazu Sakho is coming on for Mitchell, who has put in a shift as ever. So on comes the Frenchman into midfield alongside Bannon. So very different Millwall midfield in terms of number and also personnel to the one that started this 12:30 kickoff. We're still 1-1 on BBC Radio Suffolk. 7 minutes to go. It was likely to be a tight affair between these two sides. Millwall the happier though with this scoreline at the moment. Not that they're going to sit back and accept a point. And it comes from Matusiwa to Taylor. Taylor with a layoff to Greaves. Greaves goes to ground as he lifts the ball over the top of Philogene, headed forward by Kramer, controlled by Taylor, driving over midfield, getting away from Mazu Sakho. Good run from Taylor, ball towards Akpom, wasn't good enough. Again, heads are in hands through sheer frustration. Taylor should have maybe carried it on himself. Kramer down the line to Aziz. Aziz against Johnson. Aziz delivers into the middle, headed up by Greaves, not away. Nodded down by Matusiwa. Excellent play from him again, in the right place at the right time, Matusiwa. Out the ball goes for a throw to Millwall outside the Ipswich penalty area.
Yeah, the people jeered Jack Taylor's pass in the end at the top end there, but his actual run, his command of the ball and his run was terrific. He just got the pass wrong, that's all.
Yes, he did, sadly. At 29,129, best attendance we've seen here for a little while. I'd imagine there'll be another bumper one on the bank holiday in a couple of weeks' time. And then Town's game after that will certainly be a sellout, a certain one up the A140. Full match commentary of that Saturday lunchtime game on the 11th of April. Aziz trying to take on both both Johnson and Philogene. Got his cross in low to the near post. It's cleared out by Town.
It was a good block by Jacob Greaves. It's a decent ball in, but very, very strong left-footed block.
Final 5 minutes of normal time, so maybe 10 minutes to play. Aziz with a throw into the box, nodded down by Akpom, curled in by Bannon, headed away this time by Furlong. Can Clark get there out of Mazu Sakho? No, he can't. Free kick for the foul by Mazu Sakho on Clark. Very clumsy one from the recent arrival. The referee wants a word with the 21-year-old. And a yellow card just a couple of minutes after coming. Fans booing the fact that he hasn't got a red. Did anybody really think he was going to get sent off for that? Anyway, he's got a yellow, and it's a Town free kick as Sindra Waller-Egley is coming on for Ipswich Town. This will be for Clark. I feel for Jack Clark, really. What can Sindra do? All of his goals so far have been important for Ipswich Town. It is Clark.
You can tell he's gutted. He's walked off over on that near side.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
It is such a shame. Let's see what Sindra Waller-Egley could do. Found it going very tough at Sheffield Wednesday last week, taken off at half-time. As I say, all of his goals.
Well, if I was a full-back playing against Jack Clark, I'd be delighted, first of all, to have seen him going from my side to the other side of the pitch, and then I'd be even more delighted when he went off.
Yeah. O'Shea hooks the ball out on the far side. Egley tries his best to keep it in. 3.5 minutes. Millwall will be lifted by that, no doubt. Clark having a long, slow walk around the pitch off to our left-hand side, getting a standing ovation from the north stand. Millwall with Ivanovic bringing the ball down, getting into the Ipswich area. Again, Matusiwa was in the right place at the right time. Terrific work from yet again. Little touch from Akpom, back to Taylor, takes the ball on his chest, held up by Coburn. He's got to remember he's on a yellow card. Taylor slips his clutches. Matusiwa to Taylor. Here is Greaves, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Is there to be a winner in this game? 3 minutes to play. Johnson goes back to his goalkeeper, Walton. Again, acquitted himself so well out of position, Johnson. Walton too long from him on the second bounce. Third bounce in the end, it reaches Anthony Patterson. Been a regular for Sunderland in recent seasons, Patterson. 45 appearances last season. Only played one League Cup game for them this time around. Yet to make his Premier League debut for his hometown club. Bannon with a nod down to Sturge. Sturge against Eggerly. Back via Cooper all the way to Patterson. Sturge facing his third different winger this afternoon. Powerful header by O'Shea to halfway. Touched by Akpom back to Taylor. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come later on this afternoon on match day. Here is Chuba Akpom. Ball to the left-hand side and Johnson. Infield to Matu Siwa. Into the final 2 minutes of the 90. Matu Siwa's pass was misplaced, didn't reach Philogene. Will we get one spark from Philogene that makes all the difference, that turns 1 point into 3, as Greaves side-foots the ball back to Christian Walton. More and more of his penalty area in the shade. Largely of the Swarth Ramsey stand behind it. Cooper with a brave header, reaches Bannon. Another one that could create an opening from nowhere with his vision and ability. The board is going to be interesting when it comes up. Here is Watson playing the ball to the left-hand side. Sturge. Watson's continued his run wide left outside the Ipswich area. Into the middle it comes. It's travelled a fair old distance. Coburn hasn't turned. He's got the ball inside the Ipswich area. Bannon shoots deflected. Now chance for Aziz to win it. Oh, what a save from Walton. It's still alive. It's off the bar. Unbelievably, it's still 1-1. Millwall millimetres away from winning this game.
Wow, we've got away with it there. Wow, they hit the underside the bar and it came down. I assume it's come down in play, I'm not sure. But we scramble it away. It actually comes down off of
Walton.
Walton?
Yeah, good save from him in the first place.
Blimey, that was
oof. Final minute, ball headed centrally. Greaves has to be alert. It's nodded out behind. Corner kick to Millwall. If Greaves hadn't been alert, that would have been a tap in at that point for 2-1. All hands on deck for Ipswich Town, who are a little under the cosh as we reach the 90th minute.
Yeah, this is serious moments, these. You know, we've just got to make sure, you know, there's only one thing we've got to have in mind is this ball goes up the other end of the pitch.
That could be a big moment in Ipswich Town's season, that save from Walton and the hit of the woodwork. Bannon with a corner kick for Millwall. In it comes, nodded down by Furlong. Shot driven then there by Mazu Sakho, deflected off a home player. Another corner kick to Millwall. They've had 6 in this second half as we go into the added on 4 minutes. As we've just seen a replay of that save from Walton, and then the one that came down and hit him and went out. All the noise coming from the Millwall fans, and they will go up numerous decibels if this corner kick comes to something off to our right hand side. Bannon is on it. 3.5 minutes to play of the added on 4. The referee blows his whistle. Millwall yet to lead in this game. In comes this set piece, caught by Walton on his goal line. How ambitious for Ipswich Town on the break. Philogene and Eggerly have sprinted forward. The ball's given towards Matu Siwa. Matu Siwa out to the right hand side. Oh, terrible pass from him. Possibly his worst pass in an Ipswich Town shirt. It's gone out far side for a throw to Millwall needlessly.
Yeah, we got the sort of chance for a real swift counter-attack, but there was nothing really on for Matu Siwa to really keep that going. So an intelligent player just slows it down, waits for the troops to come, you know, and then see what we can do from that moment.
We're going to have a Sarmiento moment in this game this afternoon, or is it going to end 1-1? Millwall, they still have ambitions of going on to win this. Why wouldn't they? Coburn tries to play a low ball into the Ipswich area. Yet another corner kick to Millwall, who will be so frustrated that they haven't made any of these 7 or 6 so far in this second half count for anything.
Yeah, I'm sure that was purely a case of the centre forwards found himself on the left touchline. He thinks I'd put a cross in. I'm not very hopeful, but I might easily sort of get a cannon off for a corner kick, and I think that's all that's in their mind, is to put pressure on people.
Bannon on this corner kick for Millwall. What kind of an impact can he have? And who's got the quality to cause serious problems for Ipswich Town? Can he deliver when the Lions need him most? Plenty tall players to hit. It's 1-1 as Bannon delivers this corner kick into the mix. Well dealt with again by Walton. Terrific goalkeeping, superb from him.
That was an amazing take, that really was.
Very well, played a big part in the last few moments. Walton has done his job. That's what he's there to do. Taylor finds Furlong. Can Ipswich Town get forward and end this game on an almighty high? Or are the points going to be shared? Greaves plays it forward away from Hurst. Nodded by Taylor. Poorly. Hurst touches it. Keeps it in near side. Heading towards the final minute of the added on 4. Hurst goes down. Free kick. Wasn't convinced about that, but the referee's given it.
No, I wasn't.
Far from it. Nor
really wasn't.
Alex Neil agrees with us.
But it's given us possibly the last chance for the ball to be hit into the penalty area, and that penalty area obviously will be Millwall. So maybe it's Millwall's last job to do is defending their box. Our last job is to attack that box.
Possibly a last chance for Ipswich Town to win this game. Egley on the free kick wide left on BBC Radio Suffolk. We're in the 4th minute of the added on 4. This would be drama of the highest order, and it comes from the Norwegian, missed by Patterson, comes out as far as Philogene inside the area. Philogene on his right foot, thinking about the shot, eventually does along the deck, blocked away by Cooper, out as far as Taylor. Bannon gives it away. Johnson dinks it back into the box. More composure and quality was needed from Johnson. Sturgis clearance out on this near side, kept in by Aziz. Egley holds on to him. Aziz puts the ball forward weakly to Walton. Walton outside of his area controls it, gets away from Ivanovic. It's pretty much it. The referee checks his watch. It's going to be honours even between these two sides chasing automatic promotion. Alex Neil and Kieran McKenna shake hands just after the full-time whistle. Town won the first half 1-0, but sadly Millwall won the second 1-0. And therefore, a point apiece at the end of this clash.
Yeah, interesting to see the reactions to that final whistle there. Ben Johnson, who had the ball, just cannoned it off of a advertising board, so he was angry, he was frustrated. Town players' immediate reaction was hands on the hips, knackered, tired, thinking they've given everything they could get possibly. A lot of the Millwall defenders actually sat on the ground. They just went to ground. I don't think they had an awful lot more to give. They've obviously done the Millwall trick and give 100% and really made it difficult for the opposition. That was the one result I think Millwall would have wanted, Town wouldn't have wanted, but I think in the end it's a deserved result for the visiting team. I think we had everything in the first half was ours. The stats suggested we're getting everything pretty much right. The goal has come at the right time. We're 1-0 in front. Half-time will be enjoyable. We came out, and it wasn't so much about what we didn't do, it was about what the manager, Alex Neil, did at half-time. He decided, no, we cannot let this continue. If we do, we won't get a point. We certainly won't win the game. I've got to do something fairly drastic, and that was change the tactics and go to a 4-4-2. He emptied his midfield. He took a gamble on that area just to get two tough boys up front and see if they, in turn, could knock out the centre halves. That meant the wide attackers didn't have to concentrate on coming in field at all. They could stay out on our fullbacks. Our back four had a man apiece to work against. Okay, it did empty the midfield, and it did make us look as if we could, break away nicely without a lot of pressure. But there was a threat at the defensive end, our defensive end, from the moment that Alex Neil did that, and they got their reward from it. And then the changes for me, the one I really seriously couldn't agree with, the best player for Town without question, even in the second half when things weren't actually going our way was Jack Clarke. Jack Clarke was on fire. He was a threat to the opposition all the time, and at that moment, then we'd opt to make a change. He goes to accommodate Virgin. He goes over to the right-hand side. You know immediately he's not going to be happy. You know immediately he's not going to be so effective. And that was the case. And then you have an ineffective player who then ultimately gets subbed. So your best player, your best hope, has gone from being where he wants to be, getting loads of the ball, causing trouble, into a negative position, into a very negative position, and that was off the pitch. So that for me was the big mistake of the day.
Where does this leave the overall picture now then, this draw for these two sides, do you think?
Well, it's improved Millwall's chances, it's improved, I think probably improved Middlesbrough's chances as well, but because they've both gone away from home, and I think they, you know, at this stage of the season you want points. Well, obviously you want maximum points every time you play, but it's when you start taking away the away games, and it then starts, you know, the remainder of fixtures start to look easier. So Middlesbrough have gone away, they haven't won the game, they've drawn, but you know they'll be okay with that because they'll be looking at Town, and we've got the opposite. We've played at home and we haven't won. Millwall have done the same. They've been away from home, haven't won, but they've got themselves a point. And now, after these two games, okay, everybody's got a point, but the balance of home games to away games has swung in favour of Middlesbrough, Millwall over Town. So this has been a day for Middlesbrough and Millwall, and thirdly Town at the moment.
Yeah, that finished in a draw at Ewood Park between Blackburn and Middlesbrough for the league table, I guess, as it was in terms of the order. Coventry don't play until they're at Swansea later on, but yeah, only 3 more games here this season for Ipswich Town, 5 of them on the road. That's going to be a tall order. This afternoon, though, just going to go down and speak to Kieran McKenna and also an Ipswich Town player about their side's 1-1 draw with Millwall.